first thing we have is a character. And the character wants something. The character wants to play for Notre Dame or destroy the ring in The Lord of the Rings. They want something very, very specific. The two mistakes that people make in this soundbite are they are vague or they describe too many things that the customer could want. Again, if you go to your website, if I go to your website and it says, trust is the commodity we exchange, it's too vague. But if I say, if you're looking for a roof on budget, on time, you've come to the right place, that's not vague. What you want to ask yourself all the time when you're creating sound bites is it possible that this could be misunderstood? Is it possible that somebody might not know what we're talking about? If it is at all possible, you have the wrong soundbite. You need a more clear soundbite. So you've got to define something that the customer wants. You can't be vague. You also can't have 10 things that the customer wants. You need to come up with one thing that your company provides. My friend Dave Ramsey employs the StoryBrand framework really, really well. He offers financial peace, and he's got 1,000 products and 1,000 different ways to get financial peace, but he really offers one thing 1,000 different ways. So you need to figure out what is the one thing that we offer. What is the one thing that we help people do? At StoryBrand, the one thing we help people do is clarify their message so customers engage. You don't have to think very much about that. That's what we do. So don't be vague, don't be confusing, and don't have too many things. If I asked you, what's the one thing that your company provides for people? Do you have a soundbite that answers that question? When you do have a soundbite that answers that question, you can put it on your website, you can put it in lead generation, you can put it on your business card, you can put it everywhere. You can populate it in a messaging campaign, which I will get to at the end of this video. The next thing that you need to do is you need to define the problem that your product or your company solves. If people are ignoring you and going to your competitor, we help you solve that with sound bites that get them to pay attention to you. I just used a sound bite to tell you what StoryBrand does. Do you have a sound bite that defines the problem? Now, of all the sound bites we're going to talk about, this is the most important one. When somebody pulls out their credit card to buy something, they're pulling out their credit card to buy something and solve a problem. It's the only thing people purchase are the solutions to problems. Therefore, if I said, what problem does your company resolve, or what problem does this product resolve, you should have a soundbite. And if you don't have a soundbite, you're losing sales. It's a great opportunity for you. What is your problem soundbite? The next soundbite you need is a soundbite that positions you as the guide in the hero's story. You do not want the story to be about you. You want the story of your company to be about your customer. For instance, if I said, what's the origin story of your company? Where did it come from? You would say something like, well, people have been struggling with this problem for a long time, and we are heartbroken over that problem. We don't think they should struggle with it. Therefore, we created this product in order to solve that problem for people, and we sell it for $19.99. I just think that you told me the story of your company, but you didn't. You actually told me my story. I am somebody with a problem. You've created a product to help me solve that problem. The guide in the story is the character that helps the hero win. It is a massive mistake to position yourself as the hero in the story. You've got to position yourself as the guide that helps the hero win. Yoda is the guide. Luke Skywalker is the hero. Haymitch is the guide in Hunger Games. Katniss is the hero. Mary Poppins is the guide in Mary Poppins. The father, the family, they are the heroes in the story. The guide is the character that helps the hero win. You want to position yourself as a guide. Two reasons never to position yourself as the hero. One is the hero is weak. Every hero in a story is ill-equipped, afraid, doesn't want to take action, in desperate need of help. Why would you ever want to position yourself as somebody who is afraid, doesn't know how to take action, in desperate need of help? No, the hero is a weak character until the last 9 minutes of the story. The guide, however, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mr. Miyagi, on and on, Daniel in the King's Speech, helping King George. The guide is the strongest character in the story and the most capable to help the hero out of their hole. Position yourself as the guide. You need two sound bites when it comes to positioning yourself as a guide. One is empathy. If you struggle with this, we feel your pain. We understand how hard it is to struggle with X. You need an empathetic statement that says, I understand your pain and I feel for you. Then you need a competency statement. You need a statement that says, we have solved this problem for thousands of people. We know how to get you out of this hole. Something that demonstrates you know how to solve the hero's problem, and you will automatically be positioned as the guide. None of your customers are looking for a hero. They're all looking for a guide. Let me tell you, the stakes of this are very high. Hillary Clinton lost a presidential campaign with the tagline, "I'm with her." Right? She broke two rules. She made herself the hero of the story, "I'm with her," and she was vague. Already, two rules broken. Cost her the White House. If she would have just said, "She's with us," she might have won, but she didn't. She said, "I'm with her," positioned herself as a weak hero in a story about a person trying to accomplish becoming president, rather than inviting me into a story and giving me a reason to vote for her. That was a mistake. Don't make the same mistake. The next thing you need to do is you need a soundbite that gives people a three-step plan. Your customer wants baby steps. They want 3 baby steps they can take to get from their problem to your solution. Those baby steps can be as easy as, hey, let's do an intake session and let's figure out exactly what it is that your problem is and talk about how we can solve it. Second, let me give you a custom report on how we will solve that problem. And third, let's come up with a start date in which we will actually install this solution. That's a 3-step plan. If it's a very simple impulse buy product, you might say buy it, install it, have a happier life. People like 3-step plans. You need a 3-step plan soundbite. Next, you've got to call the customer to action. You've got to say to the customer, it is time to pull out your credit card. If you don't like asking for the money, here's a great soundbite. If you are struggling with X, buying Y is the right decision. If you are struggling with X, buying Y is the right decision. In fact, go on your website right now, and somewhere on the website just say, if you are struggling with this, purchasing and then name your product is the right decision. Use those exact words, and watch your sales go up. Why? Because the cognitive dissonance when I'm trying to decide whether or not to buy something is always the same. Will this work for me? Is this the right decision? And when you use the magical words, this is the right decision, this product is the right decision, people say, great, that's what I was wondering, and they just buy it. If you don't use those words, they say, let me get back to you. And what they really mean is, I will get back to you when I have some epiphany about whether or not this is the right decision. But you don't leave and go with them and explain that it's the right decision, and you didn't say it's the right decision, therefore they never figure it out and they never call you back. Right? So if you're struggling with X, purchasing Y is the right decision is the soundbite that you need to add to your marketing material. Finally, 2 more soundbites. One is success. What does life look like if I buy your product or service? How will you make my life better? Give me a soundbite that says, this is what my life looks like after I buy your product. For our chef, it was, when you hire me, your family sits together at the table and actually connects. And you don't have to cook or clean up afterwards. That's a soundbite that gives me a vision of what my life looks like if I hire you. You also need to give me a soundbite of what my life will look like if I do not hire you. A negative soundbite, a failure soundbite. Our chef could say something like, there are only so many dinners left before your kids go off to college, right? That's a soundbite that says, you don't have a lot of time to connect because they're going to leave you. Boy, that's a low blow, but a very effective blow, right? What this does, the success and failure soundbites, is it gives us stakes in the story, a reason to buy your product. If I buy it, I will win this. If I don't buy it, I will lose this. Something must be won or lost based on whether or not I buy your product. Let's take a look at a general summary of what these soundbites actually are. What do your customers actually want? That's soundbite number 1. What problem is your customer experiencing? Category of soundbite number 2. Have you positioned your brand as the guide helping the hero win? Soundbite category number 3. There's actually a couple soundbites in some of these. Have you created a clear plan for the hero to win the day? What's your 3-step plan? Have you affirmed that this is the right decision if you are trying to solve this problem? The call to action soundbite. Have you given me a vision of what my life will look like if I buy your product? And have you given me a negative vision of what my life will look like if I do not buy your product? These are the 7 soundbites that you need. Now, if you pay attention to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a rough draft using artificial intelligence of the 7 soundbites for your specific company so that you can actually look at them. I'll even give you soundbites for every specific product that you sell, because when you start using these soundbites.
So I would say whatever he's explaining, Ellery already given us on the application close. Okay. The steps that he has given us is covering everything that he's saying. When we are selling, we already counter everything that he mentioned. And here, another thing was the template that I have given here. Before you craft the story, you have to answer this as a worksheet. Already covers that. Okay. Crafting of a worksheet. So this is from Ellery, actually, from his podium. I gathered this from Ellery. So this is also covered. If you remember, Ellery has given a flywheel slides template, which is a proven slides template, whereby he has the story, the sob story, and how did you come to this sob story of the coach, or I mean about us, and then how things were for you before, you know, and how you came to this solution that you want to share with everybody. This is already covering the kind of brand story that he's talking about. So Ellery already covered with these three that we have covered what he mentioned just now. So we already in good hands when it comes to story, brand story and all that. You just have to go through his Elleric's way of he already put in for us. Okay, so what I'm going to cover here is how you can, how come this slide is here? This is the wrong one. Yeah, I already explained this. Oh, okay, on here. Okay, so this is the way that how Ellery teaches about crafting your personal story. One of his students, his name is Jax. This is Jack's friend story. This is his ex-student, and he also a coach just like me, Ozan and Kingsley. So this is his template that he created about how he created his. I found this from Elleric's podium, so I'm sharing this. Based on this also, you know, he came up with the story, and after that he came up with his mission, and then it follows to his website, landing page, or other things. Okay. So this is how the structure of business story is. So if you keep answering all this, you will come to a story already. So all these are already there in the flywheel template that Alaric gives us to follow. So this will come to your story already. Okay. And this one is the Jax just now I shared with you. He started as a web developer with his dreams of freedom, tried multiple marketing methods, failed and burned out, found a mentor, learned social media marketing, built a successful agency, now teaches others. This is Alaric that he found. Okay. Mission, help professionals to generate leads digitally. Vision, equip others to thrive in the